So hello everyone, it is me again. The COVID-19 pandemic seems to be better, but now all of us still have to stay at home for safe. So I think it is good and worth time for you and me to widen our knowledge instead of gluing our eyes into the smartphones. Therefore, today we are going to figure out what communism is, what capitalism is. Actually, we will have to be careful when talking about this, especially in Vietnam. Otherwise, we will be put into jail. And what are the reasons? I will explain to you later. Moreover, communism and capitalism are something that are very hard to understand, and half of the students in the university have bad score in these subjects. Some of them have failed to learn this subject. So I suggest you having your earphones and sit down, have a cup of tea, and enjoy the talk carefully. And because it is very hard to understand it, so I will take Vietnam and the USA as the most easiest example for you. Now let's begin. First of all, we have to figure out what communism is. So, as an individual in Vietnam, we have to remember these three things. Communi- Firstly, communism is an economic ideology that advocates for class society in which all property and wealth are communal owned instead of by individuals. Secondly, communist ideology was developed by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, and is the opposite of capitalist one, which relies on democrat and productions of capital to form a society. And the third thing is prominent example of communism and the Soviet Union and Vietnam. While the former collapsed in 1991, the latter has drastically revised its economic system to include elements of capitalism. Now, as I have suggested above, I think that you got the definitions of capitalism, and now I want to ask you this question. Do you know how many political parties in Vietnam? Well, I think some of you will know it. This is a very easy question. There is only one in Vietnam. It is Cộng hòa xã hội chủ nghĩa Việt Nam, or some of you can say it Vietnam Communism. Yeah, it's okay. Whatever you can call whatever you like. So now let's move to the definition of capitalism. Then I will make a comparison between capitalism and communism for you. The first thing we need to know about about capitalism is an economic system characterized by private ownership of the means of production, especially in the industrial sector. Moreover, capitalism depends on the enforcement of private property rights, which provide incentive for investment in and productive use of productive capital. Really hard to say. Yeah. Secondly, per-capitalism can be contrasted with per-socialism, where all means of production are collective or state-owned, and a mix of economies which lie on the continuum between per-capitalism and per-socialism. Lastly, the real-world practice of capitalism typically involves some degrees of so-called crony capitalism. Due to the demands from business for favorable government intervention and government's incentive to intervene the economy. So it is very complex, right? Is the complexity, yeah. As I have mentioned above, I guess that you know what communism and capitalism are, right? If you don't know, just move back and listen to again when I say. Or if you don't get it again, never mind, throw it away. I don't want to mention to it anymore because it is very hard. Yeah. So, how many political parties are in the U.S. or in the USA? Some of you may be surprised a little bit because the numbers is untouchable. But there are two main political parties in America. They are Democrat and Republican. Now, I will let you to see the difference between Vietnam and American. Let's start with Vietnam first. Because there only one political party, so the president in Vietnam has 100% power. He can do anything he wants without limitation. If he does something, no matter if it's right or wrong, citizens cannot say anything about his wrongdoings. Yeah, even he right or wrong, you cannot say anything. In fact, in Vietnam, if individuals go on the internet to say something about the president, all of the things we said on the internet are under control of the internet police and the government too. They will remind us if nothing is serious, but if the situation is serious, the police will find your house immediately in order to catch you. They will try to put you in jail because you have threatened the president by your words, and the law said that if you threaten the president, you will be a criminal. Yeah, you'll be a criminal, and they will catch you. Yeah. So as a result, we can see that people in Vietnam very love their president. They never say something bad about him. And I think just in case he is there. Yeah. So be careful when you are in here. Yeah. So that is the reason why I have mentioned above. That I said that we have to be careful when we talk about this. Otherwise, we will put into jails, and I don't want that things to be happen to me. Yeah, and I don't want that things happen to me. It's very bad. So never mind. Let's move on. So let's move to America. There are many political parties in there. So there is the things called the self-correct mechanism, which are the things that doesn't appear in Vietnam. To be more precise, USA president can vote for the president that they like most, and the person who have the highest numbers of votes will become a president. However, president in USA does not have 100% of powers in Vietnam. He only has about 30% of powers because the Democrats hold 30%, the Republicans hold 30%, and residents hold the rest 40% of power. Moreover, the president in the USA is under control of the Congress. So look back it again. The powers of the USA is divided into a number of parts. So it is very safe for citizens to talk about the wrongdoings of the president. To illustrate, if a person talk about the wrongdoing of John Biden in Afghanistan, he will be he will be he will be protected. He will be protected by the people in Republicans, and it happens with the same with an opposite situation. You say something bad about a Republican, Democrat will attack you. Because Republicans and Democrats are enemies, and enemies of enemies are friends. So in conclusion, until now I think that all of you have know what is communism and capitalism are. Or else, at least I think that you can know the difference between Vietnam and the West, especially in USA. That's all. Thank you for your time and also is for your listening.